Back, we're going to ask you to do something like throwing away conventional Wall Street wisdom. Our next guest actually has, how shall we put this, a rather unique method to market madness. His calls have been prophetic. A couple of times last year, he called the exact day that the market was turning. Professor Charles Nenner of Touro College joins us this morning. And Professor, welcome back. It's great to see you again. We've talked about how you have some rather unusual calls. This new chart that you're bringing with you today, though, is something I hadn't seen before. You're talking about how sunspot activity actually correlates pretty closely to market activity. Can you explain that for us?
Yes, we're doing a lot of research, and in the end you want to know what is the behavior of the investors and what leads to the behavior. And we did research on the sunspot activity, and the sunspot activity is the electromagnetic field that is caused by the sun, and the theory is that is what drives behavior, so also market investors' behavior. And so if you can predict the sunspot theory, you know what the market investors are going to do.
And if you're, the chart we're looking at right now, the blue line shows high activity for sunspots.
Yes.
The yellow line is tracking the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So you're telling us that when there's high solar activity, high sunspot activity, that actually correlates to sharper market activity?
Yes, this is from an article I published in 2002 predicting the low. You see there's an exact overlay of the Dow Jones with the sunspot cycle. And it bottomed in 2002, and you see the top was in 2000, what Greenspan called exuberance. This is no white exuberance, but the exuberance was caused by the electromagnetic field caused by the sunspot activity.
So that makes human behavior act in these ways, and you're saying that's what drives market activity.
Right.
If you follow that out, where does this get us if you're looking at a prediction, kind of going all the way back and then trying to gauge into the future what you're expecting with sunspot activity? Can we look at the next chart, please? There we go. What is this showing us?
This is a sunspot cycle going back to 1896.
And what is the yellow line again? The Dow, the sunspot activity is which color?
The red one is our cycle.
Okay.
The blue one is the sunspot theory. The lower one is a technical indicator. It's not important. What you see is that the sunspot cycle is up again, and actually you can see it here, but it's up till 2013. So we're going to expect some correction at the end of 2007, 2008, but this long bull market is going to continue until the next major cycle top in sunspot activity, which is in 2013.
So you're basically saying global warming is good for the economy right now. If we're seeing the sunspot activity, you're not looking for any major recessions to be coming in as a result of this?
Correct.
Okay, there are some people who might be watching this morning, they haven't seen you in the past. They say, okay, this is hard to get my head around. This is hard to understand. It sounds kind of crazy, but you do have some big clients, including Goldman Sachs, who buy into all of this.
I don't have to buy into all of this. I don't think they have time to study the whole theory behind it, but they look at the cycles and the price projections, and it's very helpful to all the clients.
Okay, let's take a look at another chart, because every time we have you on, we have people who want to get more predictions. What can you tell us about lumber price cycles? Yes,
I hear a lot about how's the market slump going with in the housing sector. So this is a quarterly chart on lumber. Now, lumber is, according to me, still the best indicator of the housing market. And you see the lumber price is the blue line, and the yellow line is the cycle we built. And you see that the cycle is down into, and I just have to see, into 2010. So we're going to have a weak housing market to 2010.
2010 is how long you're predicting the weak housing market's going to be taking place. And the next chart, what's that show us on lumber prices?
This is just a one from 1960. It's better to see. So you see that, again, the yellow one is the cycle, and it's down into 2010. And so don't expect a pickup in housing activity for a while.
Okay, not exactly what homeowners are hoping to hear. But finally, I want to get your take on the S&P 500. Too.
Right. So I made a short-term prediction, because we would do shorter term. These are just long-term predictions.
Yeah, this is what people tend to be most interested in. They're saying, what can you tell me about the next market term? What do you expect?
So you see the S&P. This is the future, is the blue line. The yellow line is done on a 30-minute chart, and it bottomed yesterday. Maybe you can see it says 112, 1430. That is 2:30 at 112. And now, with some small ups and downs, it should go up into what you see in the right top, the 19th of April, at midday, and a short-term price target is 1460-50. I just want to mention we gave a sell signal a couple of days to sell the S&P once it broke below 1453, and we think from this it will go down one more time before we're getting back to a rally.
But the time you're calling it to rise until April 19th at around noon?
And the
that's when
target
you
is
think things are gonna
1460
sell
to
down?
50, and then we should be down again.
Okay. Doctor, we want to thank you for coming in. We should point out, if you haven't seen this before, he actually takes and looks at a massive number of different issues. You plug it all into your computer. We can't tell you exactly how it goes, but it's been right at least twice in the last year, and that's why we have him in today. Charles, thank you for coming in today.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it.